Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Music Den. I'm your host, Armando Venditti. Hoping you have a great day and above all else, that you're indeed looking after yourselves and one another. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to Rocket. Taking a look at my favorite rock songs, part two. Uh, as I say in part one, I started to put a list together of my favorite rock songs. And I started out with a list of 10 songs. 10 songs grew into 15 songs. 15 songs grew into 20 songs. And at one point, I did have an honorable mentions list that kept growing. Eventually, the honorable mentions list developed into a list all to its own. So I decided to finish it up, and I have a list of 50 songs to talk to you about. So, as in part one, in part two, I'm going to give you my louder 25. And this is quite the eclectic list that I'm going to bring to you. And just because a song is at 25 on the list, it doesn't make it a bad song in any way, shape, form, or fashion whatsoever. It just makes it easier for me to keep in check the song I'm talking about and makes it easier for you to take in. And all of these songs I'm going to be talking about, you can stream them for free on YouTube. All right. Now, coming in at number one, I have Queen. Of course, you know Queen was going to be on this list with the Prophet song from a Night at the Opera released in 1975. Starts off side two of the album. The album ends with Bohemian Rhapsody and God Save the Queen. But you know what? To pick Bohemian Rhapsody would be easy. Prophet song, as I said, starts off side two, 8 minutes and 17 seconds. Bombast galore. Starts off very soft, very gentle, with an air conditioner being put through a phaser, which conjures up a wind effect. And very soft, very evocative use of the koto, which is a stringed Japanese instrument that Brian May plays. Wonderful acoustic guitar, intricate arrangement on the acoustic guitar. Again, the track builds and basically explodes. The subject matter is based on a dream that Brian May had about this seer of visions, etc., that came to Earth and was going to solve everyone's problems. As long as you listened to this individual and believed in them, they would give you what you needed and what you desired. And the song is bombast at its very best. Heavy, intricate guitar from Brian May, bombastic drums from Roger Taylor, and over-the-top vocal delivery from Freddie Mercury. There's a middle section where the use of fugue is put into play, where with the use of tape delays, Freddie Mercury is able to sing basically three-part harmony with himself, using echoes and tape delays, and it is wonderful. Over the top, and it is listed up to that point as the longest track Queen has ever recorded at 8 minutes and 17 seconds. It was done live over many tours, combined as a medley with White Man from Day at the Races a year later. But you know what? It is, again, heavy rock, some would say somewhat prog, bombastic, heavy, melodic. It's Queen, which is why it's on the list. Up next, we're going to jump way ahead to 1987 with Guns N' Roses and Welcome to the Jungle from the album Appetite for Destruction. This is also featured on a Clint Eastwood movie. I believe it was Deadpool. Don't quote me on that. I've said before, this track is fantastic. Guns N' Roses, as I was going to say, was sort of seen as the antidote to hair metal and glam rock, or glam metal, sorry. When you hear this song, you know who it is. Even if you don't like the band, you know who it is. Wonderful guitar intro from Slash. And then the drums come in slowly uh, with the hi-hat, the bass comes in, and then you hear uh, Axl Rose say, "Oh my God," and then the drums kick in full and just wonderful heavy drums. A wonderful midsection with swirling guitars from Slash and added percussion from Steven Adler, just heavy, bombastic, uh, over the top vocals from Axl Rose. And it's basically about this guy who makes his way to LA, and he's basically bombarded with all of these sights and sounds and smells and sensations that he can't get a grip on. And he's basically being told, you know where you are? You're in the jungle, baby. You're going to die. Meaning, if you don't watch what you're doing, you're going to fall prey to all sorts of vices and dependencies, etc. So watch your back. This song was a major hit for the band. The album was a major hit overall. Appetite for Destruction. And again, another track that is played on classic rock radio today. Coming up next, I have the Beatles with A Day in the Life, the final track from Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band from 1967. Piano driven track featuring John Lennon on lead vocals for the verses. Wonderful piano, wonderful vocal delivery from John Lennon. And then the midsection comes in with another song, totally different tempo from Paul McCartney. With the lyrics from John Lennon, I'd love to turn you on. And then it goes into the section with Paul McCartney where he sings, woke up, got out of bed, dragged a comb across my head. From my way downstairs and drank a cup, and looking up, I noticed I was late. So you have the two songs that are seamlessly put together. Wonderful use of orchestral strings on this track. Um, and beautiful piano again from John Lennon on this. And the track ends with a swirl of symphony that comes in. And um, George Martin described what he wanted sonically as to sound, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically wanted to have what a catastrophe would sound like. And then sonically. And then on the final section, the orchestra comes back in and the strings build and build and build and build. They come to a final stop, and then you have all four members of the Beatles on the piano hitting all the chords at once. Bam. Right? Like just lush piano chords that come in. And then it slowly peters out. And again, it's a song that is intricate, it's melodic, it's haunting. And as a kid, an 11, 12-year-old, I've always loved this song. I've always loved the Beatles more intricate, more lush arranged songs with strings, etc. And this just it's a good way to end off Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Coming in at number 4, I have Stone Temple Pilots with Sex Type Thing from their album Core from 1992. Second track on the album, very short. I think it's just under 3 minutes long, 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Heavy rhythm guitar, heavy drumming from Eric Krantz on this track. Wonderful rhythm guitar from Dean DeLeo and lead guitar. Beautiful guttural vocals from Scott Weiland. Rest in peace, Scott Weiland. And he delivers on the verses such a very strong but definite, forceful vocal, but very controlled. It's controlled until he gets to the very end of the song, like on the outro of the track. But it's guttural, it's rocking, it's in your face, it cracks you right in the ribs when you hear it. Yes, it came out around the time during the time of grunge, but I always saw Stone Temple Pilots as I don't know how to put this, but pretty much just a little bit of a step ahead of what Nirvana were doing. More melodic content in terms of their musical arrangements, right? And Sex Type Thing, short and sweet and to the point, it kicks ass. It really does. Coming up next at number 5, I have the band Tonic with If You Could Only See from their debut release, Lemon Parade, released in 1996. The second track, I believe the second track on the album, second or third track on the album, I have the album. The album starts off with Open Up Your Eyes. If you could only see, amazing track, starts off with a cappella intro, melodic as all get out, heavy as all get out, but accessible at the same time. And the subject matter is basically this guy telling people, if you could only see how this person treats me, how they make me feel, you would understand that I have to do whatever she wants me to do. On the face of it, a nice sentiment. When you really think about it, he's basically being led by the nose by this individual, by this girlfriend. And it's, again, melodic, heavy, overdriven guitars, a wonderful guitar solo that comes in. And it ends with just the vocal on the just tailing out or trailing out slowly. It's melodic, it's rocking. Again, it's another track that kicks you in the ribs, but it leaves a lasting impression. Again, all of these songs that I'm bringing to you on this list, as in part one, when I hear these songs, I'm brought back to that time period. Track six on the list, Rolling Stones with Waiting on a Friend from Tattoo You from 1981. Tattoo You is the album that is made up of tracks that were recorded between 1973 and 1978 from the albums, for the album, sorry, Goat's Head Soup and Some Girls. And Waiting on a Friend dates all the way back to 1973 from Goat's Head Soup. Wonderful, relaxed vibe on this track with uh, with the drums, just a really easy, relaxed beat. Um, Wonderful jazz type of phrasings, passages that come in. You can just imagine Mick Jagger sitting on a stoop, which he is in the video eventually, that was shot in New York City. But you can just imagine him sitting on the front step of his apartment building, just watching people going by during an afternoon and just sort of mentally taking notes of who he's seeing and making mental pictures of what's in front of him. And he's not looking for anything in particular. He's not looking for a woman to take his troubles away or distract him from what's going on in his life. He's just sort of enjoying the moment. He's in the moment in this song. And I've always loved this song. I've liked this song even better than Start Me Up. Start the hate mail now. I understand that. But this song for me, beautifully done. Again, I'll try not to use wonderful so much, but there you go. Track number seven is from a Canadian band. We're going for the Canadian contingent here. The band is Helix, and their cover of Make Me Do Anything You Want, released in, I believe it was in 85. This is a cover from a band called A Foot in Coldwater. This version of the song is just beautiful, very gentle, wonderful, simple guitar chords that come in, and it's pretty much a carbon copy of the original. And I'll put links to this track, to both tracks, in the description below so you can listen to it and you can let me know what you think of it. Beautiful guitar solo that comes in on the end. Wonderful bass that comes in at the end of the guitar solo, that leads back into a repeat of the chorus line of Make Me Do Anything You Want. Beautiful drums that come in. Just a wonderful, gentle piece of music. The video is shot in a dance studio with the band watching a ballerina go through her routine, and she is so graceful in this video. with her dance moves and her steps and her fluidity in her movements, that the band are playing the song, but they're basically just enraptured with what she's doing. They're so taken by her, you know. It's a beautiful song, and it's a wonderful version. Again, wonderful. A an exemplary version of "Make Me Do Anything You Want" from a Foot in Cold Water. That's number seven. Coming in at number eight, another Canadian band, the Tea Party. They had to be on this list with their track "Temptation," released in 1997, August 19th of that year, from the album Transmission, their third studio release. I've always loved the Tea Party. I think that they're a fantastic band. Another them along with another Canadian band on this list are pretty much Canada's best kept secret. Temptation starts off with an acoustic guitar passage that comes in. Um, then you hear drum loops that come in, and slowly you hear electric guitars that come in, almost bordering on feedback, and then it launches into the song proper with heavy drums from Jeff Burrows, wonderful guitar and keyboard work from Jeff Martin and Stuart Chatwood, and just a vocal delivery from Jeff Martin that is so slow and measured and deliberate and menacing that is just like fucking amazing. This album Transmission would see the band go into more of an industrial tinged kind of arena. Not overly so. They'd still used uh, Middle Eastern influences in their arrangements, and heavy blues rock influences. But with this track, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. There are different mixes to this track, but short and sweet and to the point. And the subject is talking about this individual succumbing to certain temptations and not minding it at all and just going with the flow. Track number nine on my list, another Canadian band that's I consider to be Canada's best kept secret, Saga with Don't Be Late, Chapter 2, from their third studio release, Silent Night, released in 1980. Uh, Don't Be Late, Chapter 2 is a part of a group of songs called The Chapters, fittingly so, which talks about the adventures of a young Albert Einstein. I'm paraphrasing on that, but it's a wonderful 6 minute plus track. Starts off with the hi-hat with Steve Negus working on the hi-hat, and then a beautiful repetitive spiral uh, synth passage from Jim Gilmore that repeats pretty much throughout the track. The track has peaks and valleys. Wonderful vocal delivery from Michael Sadler, lead vocalist on this track. Beautiful, intricate guitar passages that come in from Ian Crichton, and wonderful uh, guitar solo, sorry, from Ian Crichton that just explodes in sections. And Ian Crichton does have, it's been described as a percussive guitar style, and that's pretty much done deliberately from him. And the song builds and builds and builds until it comes to its final ending on the coda, and it's just grand, it's epic, and it's Saga. And this has always been a fan favorite in concert. And the drums are full, lush, rich. I've always loved Steve Negus's drumming. I've done an interview with him on the channel too, and about his solo work. And yeah, Don't Be Late is indeed one of my favorite songs from Saga. Coming in at number 10, I have Led Zeppelin with Immigrant Song, released on Zeppelin 3 from 1970. Short and to the point, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Uh, Wonderful repetitive guitar passage that comes in after a cymbal crash from John Bonham. Jimmy Page comes in with again, that repetitive guitar passage. very mystical sounding. And then you hear Robert Plant with his, call to arms, I guess you call it, and talking about winds of Valhalla, etc. And as quick as the song begins, it ends. And it gives you an imagery of blowing winds, of being on the sea on a voyage, charting going off to uncharted territory, uncharted lands, and you're not knowing where you're going to end up, but you don't care. You're off on an adventure, and you may not be back. Okay, and again, as quickly as it begins, it ends just as quickly. Coming in at number 11, I have Ozzy Osbourne with Bark at the Moon from the album of the same name, released in 1983. Oh my God, this track, a blistering guitar uh, solo and rhythm guitar work from Jake E. Lee on this. It from the beginning, right out of the gate, it just starts with that wonderful heavy guitar riff on the intro. And the drums come in and the bass, Bob Daisley's on bass, and it kicks ass. It's just guttural. And the guitar solo that comes in the midsection from Jake E. Lee, it is in my opinion, one of the best guitar solos that I've ever heard. And one of Ozzy Osbourne's best tracks ever. And it basically talks about this guy who, if you've seen the video, basically is a guy that goes mental. He goes mad. And you see images of possibly him turning into a werewolf. Or he sees images of somebody haunting him from this institution that he's in. He looks out the window and he imagines he sees this individual, this werewolf character that's basically stalking him and haunting him and following him around. Um, he thinks it's real, but people around him knows it's in his head, and that's basically the premise of the song. Blistering song from start to finish. Heavy guitar on the intro, wonderful drumming, wonderful solo on the guitar in the midsection, and then it comes to a dead stop. It's one of the few tracks of Ozzy Osbourne, in that, my opinion, kicks ass from start to finish. Track 12 is Black Sabbath with Neon Nights um, from the album Heaven and Hell. First album to feature Ronnie James Dio on lead vocals. This was the last track to be written for the album. Right out of the gate, heavy guitars, heavy drums, blistering rhythm guitar from Tony Iommi, wonderful drumming from Bill Ward, and Ronnie James Dio comes in with a command of the vocal delivery that is just unfucking believable. Strong, powerful, kicks you right in the gut again, and soaring, soaring. And he just he had an ability at that point to just, and basically always with Black Sabbath and with anyone he worked with, to come up with such wonderful uh, melody lines for the vocals that it was pretty effortless. And it just sounds like this song came together really quickly. And again, it's 3 minutes and change. It starts off the album of Heaven and Hell. Again, it's just a hell of a track, from start to finish. Coming in at number 13, Rainbow with Stargazer from Rising, or Rainbow Rising from 1976. Richie Blackmore lead guitar, Ronnie James Dio on lead vocals. 8 minutes plus. Side two of Rising, uh, with a beautiful, blistering drum intro by Cozy Powell. Just wonderful. Uh, Jimmy Bain on bass, although there's no bass on this track, according to Richie Blackmore, and Tony Carey on keyboards. A beautiful song. Majestic, using the Munich Philharmonic Orchestra to provide strings. This album was recorded, I do believe, in a month's time in Munich, Germany. And it tells the story about this, again, this Svengali, as in the Prophet song, where he's promising people that if you follow me, I'll give you the answer. I'll give you what you need. Don't believe what's in front of you. Just believe what I'm telling you. Um, don't doubt me, because if you doubt me, you're damned. Basically, this Svengali starts to believe his own shit, and he basically ends up destroying himself because he realizes that he's gone too far and he's tempted fate once too often, and the forces that he tempted are basically destroying him at the end of the song, by the end of the story. With the lyrics, my eyes are bleeding, my eyes are bleeding, and where you have Ronnie James Dio screaming these lyrics. My eyes are bleeding and I'm far away from here. I do believe it is. But he delivers it with such passion, such conviction. You basically, I can just imagine this character being pulled into the earth, being sucked into the earth as he's screaming for mercy to be spared because he tempted fate once too often. It's an amazing track. And it should be talked about a lot more. I don't believe it was performed a lot live, but it's still a beautiful composed piece, heavy as all get out. Again, it's exemplary. It's one of my favorites. It is my favorite track from Rainbow. Coming up next, we have Def Leppard with Photograph from Pyromania, track two on the album. Just a good rocking song, heavy rhythm guitar from I believe it was Phil Willis at this point, before Phil Cullen joined the band. Heavy as all get out. Wonderful drums from from Rick Allen, I do believe. Heavy as all get out. Wonderful melody. Heavy, but again accessible. Wonderful vocal delivery and emotional vocal delivery from Joe Elliott. And it is bombast. It is heavy, featuring keyboard work from Thomas Dolby, produced by Robert John Mutt Lang for the band. Uh, I've always loved this song, even though Foolin' and Rock of Ages were, I guess, bigger hits from the album. This song for me, Photograph, um, it's heavy, it's melodic, it's guttural at times. Wonderful guitar solo from Phil Cullen. Um, and it just it stayed with me all these years. Every time I hear this song, I'm in euphoria. I love this piece. I love this song. Coming up next, I have April Wine with Roller from 1978. Kick-ass rock track. Miles Goodwin, rest in peace, Miles Goodwin. Just uh, a song about taking your chances with a woman in a relationship. Just wonderful drums from Jerry Mercer on this track. What I do like about this piece is it's fast paced, very guttural, very in your face, and the midsection has a three-part guitar solo where you have all three guitars doing intricate soloing that's intercut together, and it's just done so seamlessly, wonderfully done. Again, wonderful flick, but it's a kick-ass track. Next up, number 16, All the Young Dudes from Mott the Hoople from 1972, a David Bowie composition. Uh, you can hear David Bowie on the choruses. At this point in time, Matthew Hoople had broken up, and when David Bowie heard this, he said, "So you guys can't break up. You guys are fucking fantastic. I'll write you a song." So he wrote them All the Young Dudes. It was released, and it was a big hit. And it talks about uh, teenage angst and how, the young kids at the time, the music, the rock stars, the actors, the poets, anyone that was considered hip and modern thinking had the answers to your problems. All the young dudes, sorry, carried the news. You know what I mean? So never mind what your parents did generation before. Look to the future, look to the now that's in front of you, and just concentrate on that. And it's melodic, uh, it's catchy. It's ear candy, and again, still played on classic rock radio today. Coming up next, I have Tango in the Night from Fleetwood Mac, from 1987, from the album of the same name, a Lazy Buckingham track, the fifth track on side one, before Mystified ends off side one of the album. Clearly, easily the heaviest track that Fleetwood Mac ever recorded in the Lindsey Buckingham era. Uh, has a lot of on the verses, Middle Eastern influences and instrumentation, and or yeah, or references. But when it goes into the chorus, the drums come in heavy, and Lindsey Buckingham delivers a vocal uh, that is so strong and powerful, that and soaring, and definite, that it just, you sit back and you listen to this and you're like, what the hell? This is nothing like anything that Fleetwood Mac ever wrote with the Nixon Buckingham lineup of the band. And when you think the song is over, the drums come back in with a blistering guitar solo from Lindsey Buckingham. And it just carries on into the outro, into the fade out. But heavy as anything, and as menacing as anything that the band have ever written before. Beautiful, beautiful, heavy, in your face, cracking the ribs big time, soaring, and yeah, so Fleetwood Mac, right? Coming up next, we're going a bit of punk here. Susie and the Banshees was Spellbound from their album Juju from 1981. Um, Basically, the track itself talks about lyrically about basically from the minute you're born, your life is not yours anymore. Uh, and right from the minute you're born, confusion sets in. And you're basically trying to find where you belong and how to get a grip on what's happening to you in your life, from infancy to your death. Um, Again, wonderful drum pattern that comes in on this track. Uh, Rhythmic, great acoustic guitars, frenetic acoustic guitar passages that come in, soaring vocal delivery from Susie Sue on this track. Brilliant, brilliant. And that's why it's on the list. Coming in at number 19, I have Arcadia with The Promise. Arcadia, as you may or may not know, were a side project of Duran Duran, featuring Nick Rhodes, Simon Le Bon, and Roger Taylor of Duran Duran. From the album So Red the Rose, released in October of 1985 for EMI and Capitol Records. The Promise is track two on side two, featuring Herbie Hancock on keyboards, David Gilmour on lead guitar, and Sting on backup vocals with Simon Le Bon. Heavy drums that come in on the intro, wonderful guitar explosions, basically, what I call explosions. Just great lead guitar, sorry, from David Gilmour. And apparently he's featured all over this album, with according to Nick Rhodes. But it's a soaring vocal delivery from Simon Le Bon, and with accompanying him is Sting on the choruses. A wonderful guitar work on this piece. It's textured, it's lush. Uh, it's pretty much an art noir kind of a feel to the whole album. And this album being recorded in France does have a European spin to it. The album was produced by the late Alex Sadkin, rest in peace, Alex Sadkin, who would pass away shortly after. But just a great piece of art rock. And I wish they would release a box set of this album because it deserves this treatment. Coming up next, number 20, I have Eagles with One of These Nights from the album of the same name, 1975. Starts off the album. This is where the Eagles almost go a bit disco. Starts off with a beautiful bass intro and the bass drum that comes in, and uh, twin lead guitar section that comes in with Bernie Leadon and Don Felder. And it's just a fun track. Ass shaking as all get out. Wonderful, um, again, uh, guitar solo that comes in the midsection. And um, it's just basically talking about this guy telling his girlfriend, um, go out and do whatever you're going to do. But when you come back, I'll be here and we'll see if we're still together or not, you know. And on the outro, Don Henley does a wonderful, again, wonderful, over the top vocal um, on the outro, on the fade out. Just a high end, high falsetto. That's beautiful. Up next, another Canadian band, Age of Electric, with the track Ugly from the album self-titled from 1995. Uh, just a great rock track, heavy guitars, wonderful drums, great bass, um, great use of the floor toms on the verses. Uh, Beautiful vocal delivery from Todd Kearns, lead vocalist. He would go on to be bassist in Slash's band. And th the song is basically talking about whatever you've been told in life, whatever people have told you before, your family, etc. If they told you you're worthless or you'll amount to nothing, don't listen to them. And just follow your dreams, follow your soul, follow your inner voice that tells you what you should be doing, and you'll be okay. And the video for this features a bunch of people that are in a hotel, but these people are basically the outlier. I guess you'd say the outliers of society, people who live on the fringes of society. Uh, and all the I guess you'd say debauchery that goes on in the hotel rooms, debauchery in quotes, that goes on in every hotel room in this hotel or in this apartment building. It's a great song. It's rocking, it's melodic, and it's always stuck with me. Coming up next, I have Iron Maiden with Run to the Hills at number 22, from the album Number of the Beast, 1982. Beautiful fucking song. Heavy as all get out. Starts off with just, you know, wonderful bass drum pattern that comes in. And then the twin guitars that come in on lead, and then it kicks into the main part of the song. Beautiful, relentless bass playing from Steve Harris, and just over the top uh, guttural vocal delivery from Bruce Dickinson. And yeah, this is one of those songs that I never get tired of hearing from Iron Maiden. Never at all. Another one is Can I Play with Madness? But Run to the Hills, again, just a classic. Again, another staple of classic rock radio. Coming up next, number 23, Triumph with Follow Your Heart. Triumph, band from Toronto. Follow Your Heart, the second single from uh, Thunder 7, released in 1984, album produced by Eddie Kramer. Uh, a beautiful rock track, wonderful guitar work from Rick Emmett, beautiful solo, wonderful emotional delivery, again, wonderful delivery from Gilmore. And it's basically just saying, you may be people may be telling you that you'll amount to nothing and that you need to grow up and just settle for what's in front of you, stop dreaming. This track is saying, follow your heart, follow your dreams, uh, and just be happy and never stop reaching for the top. Whatever your top is, whatever you want to reach for, go for it. Number 24 on the list, almost to the end, we have Styx with Come Sail Away from The Grand Illusion, 1977. Beautiful, sprawling track, uh, gorgeous vocal delivery from Dennis DeYoung, beautiful piano intro, and just an emotional vocal delivery from Dennis DeYoung, talking about looking back on his life and wondering, what lays ahead, and is I'm taking it as is are the best days of his life done from his youth? What does he have to look forward to? And there's a beautiful heavy guitar passage that comes in the midsection, exquisite panning uh, keyboard solo and that comes in, and then very soaring, a lot of textures, a lot of swirling keyboards, beautiful textures that come in, and then it kicks back into the main guitar solo of the track, and Dennis DeYoung on the outro does a beautiful soaring over the top vocal for this piece, and it just fades out. This track has always been my favorite from Styx. I've since come to like other songs like Sweet Madam Blue, but yeah, this has always been my favorite Styx track, and it's on this list for a reason because it's a fucking classic, and it deserves to be on this list. Finishing off part two of Rocket, favorite rock songs, I have Thin Lizzy with The Boys Are Back in Town from the album Jailbreak, released in 1976. Rock Confection, Ear Candy, the two-prong attack, as I've described it before, of Brian Robertson and Scott Gorham. Beautiful bass work from Phil Lynott. And whenever I hear this song, I always think of summer days coming, like the warmer weather's coming, uh, going out, riding in your car downtown on a Friday or Saturday night with the windows open, nice warm breeze coming in. You're just going out with your friends or with your family or with your partner or your husband or wife, and you're just going out for the night and you're enjoying yourself, going out for a nice dinner or going out to meet friends at a bar and just enjoying the time together. Okay? That's what I feel when I hear this song. Unfortunately, this would be Thin Lizzy's biggest hit. And yeah, it is a classic. And again, another one that's played on classic rock radio to this day. So there you have it, guys. A part two of Rocket, favorite rock songs, all 50 tracks from part one and part two. Long episodes. I apologize. Please put down in the comments below your opinion of these songs or your list of your favorite rock tracks. No right or wrong answers, just opinion. And yeah, I want to get a bit of a dialogue going. I had fun putting this list together. As I said in part one, before I started recording this, I was coming up with more songs to put to the list, but I thought, no, 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 enough is enough. There's too many here. So again, put down your favorite songs in the description below. And yeah, please click like and subscribe, and do hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content I've got coming up. I've got more shows coming up with Bill Schuster. We're going to eventually be doing Outlaws and Heroes. We just have to nail down a date for that. And I'm going to be doing more episodes with Ken Cheshire and Sagosh. And yeah, this has been fun. And please look after yourselves and one another. Click like and subscribe, and do hit the notification bell to keep yourselves on top of any new content I've got coming up. And also follow us on X. We are now on X. And I will see you soon again on the Music Den. Have a great night. Bye for now.